All right, so welcome back, Woodhounds, to the Back 40 Firewood channel. Today, have an interesting little topic to talk about, and this was actually suggested to me by a fellow Woodhound of the Back 40 channel, Digby Odell. He emailed me a while back, and he had a topic that he thought would be kind of interesting to get my take on. So he suggested that I talk about what I didn't like about the whole process of firewood, either selling it or making it, and, you know, for myself, burning it, whatever, the whole end-to-end process of dealing with firewood. So I got to thinking, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, it's kind of, you know, something that we probably don't always think about because we enjoy doing it. So we, you know, even though you enjoy doing something, there's always little factors that come into play that you may, you know, that may bother you, or may be like a little thorn in your side, or just something that, you know, like you said, just that you don't like. But when I started thinking about this, it was kind of difficult to come up with things I didn't like. I mean, because everything was either something that, you know, if I didn't like it, I could change it. I had control over it. So what I did was I came up with my 3 top things I don't like about firewood and the whole firewood process, burning it, selling it, whatever. All right, but before we get to that, I just want to take a moment and thank all the new subscribers and all the returning subscribers. Glad you're back, glad you're here, glad you're watching. Let's get to this and see what my top 3 things are I do not like about firewood. All right, so number 1 on the list of things I do not particularly like about firewood that are out of my control: the time it takes between cutting, bucking, and splitting until the time you can actually burn and use the firewood. So all this wood right here, you can see, has just been sitting there, seasoning, drying out. And I guess that's the one thing with me is like, sometimes it's hard to work on something and then have to wait until you can actually use or put that to use. So I know, like, one thing with, you know, in today's modern world, we're all getting so accustomed to things happening right now, like instantly. Like, you know, you go online and you can buy something and it's here tomorrow, or you can, anything you want to do, you can do it instantly. You want to watch a movie, you can press a button, download it on your TV or phone, and boom, you got it. You're there, you're watching it. But with firewood, it takes time. And the longer time you have, the better sometimes it is. So that would be one thing that I kind of don't like, I guess, is just that having to wait from putting in your work till the time when you can get the reward. So number 2 on my list. Number 2 has to do with being outside, and the ability to get things done outside is dependent on the weather and Mother Nature. Something that you have no real control over, but, you know, nothing. I guess the one thing I don't like is when I'm stuck inside because the weather is either raining, snowing, you know, you just can't get out, you can't get to the work that you want to do. So, you know, if it's raining, it's not a good time to be out cutting trees down. If the wind's blowing, you can't be cutting trees down. If it's snowing, you probably don't want to be outside if it's cold. If it's rainy and muddy, it's tough, you know, picking up wood off the ground and getting it in your shed or onto the splitter. So that would be number 2, is just not being able to get outside due to the weather. Having trees down, having rounds on the ground that you want to split, and just, you know, not being able to get the work done when you want to get it done. So that, to me, is one other thing I do not like about firewood. But again, something out of my control. So number 3, my 3rd and final one, and this is probably the biggest one, I guess, of something that I don't like about firewood, and that is the ability to not get firewood. So when you see trees that are down, or you see, trees that need to come down and you don't either have access to those trees or you've been told you can't process the trees up. Like, that's the one thing I don't like. So for example, right now I'm currently on the property line of my property and my neighbors. And you can see behind me, there's quite a few standing dead trees back there. There's also quite a few trees that have come down, either from storms or from, just dying. So I can see them, they're right there, but I don't have access to them. I can't get the firewood. I can't be the woodhound that I want to be. I want to go out there and get that firewood. But I also can understand their point of view when it comes to things like, liability, having people on your property. I believe that a forest should be maintained. And if you have dead trees and you have trees that have come down, they should be cleaned up. Like one thing that the tree tamer pointed out to me is that a lot of times what happens with trees when they die is during the summer months when like a dead tree falls or gets blown over, and that tree will hit another tree and injure it. Like, that tree has to then use all of its resources and all of its energy to heal itself above ground. And that's where something like the oak wilt that's transferred below ground can come in and attack that tree and infect it and cause it to die. So I'm not sure, I'm no expert in these things, but it makes sense. So there you go. That's my third and final one. Again, something I have no control over. It would be nice if I could, to just come up here and take a few of these trees down, clean up the ones that are already down. So there are my three, top items that I find not to like when dealing with firewood and working with firewood from, the end-to-end process. Now, granted, other things, like, for example, the amount of space it takes to store wood. Well, that I have control over. Like, I can make more space. The equipment that's needed, another choice. Like, that's something I can either choose to have or not to have. Things like how messy firewood can be to work with and store and all of that. Like, all of that is things that I can control. Like, I can clean up where I process firewood. I can clean up where I store firewood. I have control over all those things to where if I don't like the outcome, I can change it. But with those three things I just talked about, it's kind of hard to speed up time for drying. It's kind of hard to control Mother Nature, and it's kind of hard to change thoughts and minds of others, and what they think about allowing you to take and harvest firewood from their land, or, And one of the other big ones that I hear all the time is that firewood is a lot of work, and why are you doing it? Well, there again, it's something that I control. Like, I make the choice to work with firewood. I'm not forced to do it. If I was forced to do it and I didn't want to, I would not like it. So that would probably be on the top of my list, but it's not. So I would like to know what you guys think. Like, what are some of the things that you find you don't like about firewood? Again, we all can talk about all the things we do like about it. I mean, there's many things we all love about firewood and what we do making firewood, and, but what are some of the things that maybe you don't like? Like, I don't know. So let me know in the comments. And you can also let me know tomorrow night on the Back 40 live stream. Oh, and I haven't heard yet from Ken down at Anubis Equipment when the tractor is going to be here. But maybe it'll be delivered today or tomorrow. And maybe I'll be doing the live stream right from the seat of the new Coyote. You never know. It'd be pretty cool, though, if it did work out that way. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, just, trying to maybe give a little thought to something a little in a different way. Like I said, we all find things we like. And, I mean, there's that one saying, something about Doing work you don't want to do, that's stress. But doing work you do want to do and you love doing, that's passion. So like we all have the passion for firewood in our bloods, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. But there's always a few things that can get to us. And I gave you 3 of mine, so now let's hear some of yours. All right, so that's going to do it. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys either on the live stream tomorrow night or on the next video. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.